Now is the special election that's coming up on January 7th. That's what's important now. And so I'm really excited to get to talk to JJ Singh, who is running for HG 26, and also Kannan, our current delegate. I was going to talk to both of them at the same time because I thought that would be more wonderful. Yes. So JJ, hi, how are you? It's very nice to meet you. This is my first time having the opportunity to meet you. So congratulations on winning the nomination and welcome to the show. And Kannan, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So here's the first thing that I want to say is this election, when in terms of what's important now, is really what's important now. It's sort of like a bellwether. So JJ, why don't you just take a few minutes, well, not even a few minutes, but introduce yourself. And then, and the best part is that Kannan has already endorsed you. So that says a lot to our audience already because we know and love Kannan. So talk a little bit about you and a little bit about the bellwether you see in this election.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be a part of this show and this group. I'm the son of Indian immigrants. I was born here in Northern Virginia, a product of our public schools, went to the University of Virginia. And two of the key values of my family growing up were hard work and serving others. And my service journey started when I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Bolivia, right out of college. And no one who ever looked like me had done the Peace Corps before. It was a bit of a challenging experience. On top of that, I lived at an altitude of 12,000 feet for 2.5 years with no heat. And despite that, we were able to help farmers improve their incomes. And I worked with single indigent mothers who we gave microcredit loans to start and grow their businesses. Following that, I worked in the U.S. Senate for Senator Chris Coons from Delaware for several years as his economic policy advisor. And during that time, we faced the rise of the Tea Party and Ted Cruz, and we passed several bills to improve the state of manufacturing and small businesses. And currently, I'm in the hospitality sector, and during the pandemic, we managed to deliver a project on time, under budget, that created 70 new jobs at a time when people were cutting payroll and laying people off. And the point of all this and what I'm trying to say is that I've persevered through some tough times, and tough times call for tough people. And that's what we're facing right now. And so some of the issues, well, let me pause right there because I know Kannan has a lot to say, but I've been delighted to work with Delegate Kannan Srinivasan, who endorsed me. And he is amazing, very hard worker, very effective legislator, and I'm thrilled to be on the ticket with him on January 7th.
That is pretty awesome. I'm going to pause you there, and I'm going to bring in Kannan because I do have a couple of questions for both of you that I'm sure everybody's going to be interested in hearing. So Kannan, you have been in the House already, and now you're going to run for the Senate to take over the seat that Suhas left. And so just talk a little bit about that and why that's so important.
Well, thank you, Fennel. It's so wonderful to see so many friends here. For me and my wife coming to Network Nova events, meeting Network Nova team is always such a big pleasure. We both have learned so much from all of you. I'm so proud of the work you do. You've made so much difference. And I'm very honored to be the Democratic nominee to replace Suhas in the Senate District 32. It's half of Loudoun. So Loudoun has two state senators. One is Senator Russet Perry. The other one is Senator Suhas Subramaniam, who's now congressman-elect. So this seat is what I'm running. 100% of my House district is in the Senate district. It's all within Loudoun, no Fairfax, no Prince William in the new redistricting map. Excuse me, it's all Eastern Loudoun, covering almost all of Ashburn, South Riding, Arcola, Aldie, Brambleton, where I live. My wife and I have lived in Loudoun since 99. I've worked in Loudoun since 97. Many of you know my story, working for Ashurian for 24 years, then working for Chef Jose Andres in the restaurant business. He's a huge inspiration for me. And I do this full time now. And I've been so fortunate to have passed 8 bills in the last session, most of them bipartisan. on gun safety, women's reproductive rights, and also, pocketbook issues, voting rights. And I will bring the same passion and hard work and my work ethic to the Senate. I'm also happy to say I'm also a member of Privileges and Elections Committee. And we met on November 13th, 3 days before my primary. And I was there. I wouldn't miss this. We voted on all 3 constitutional amendments. So we have moved that to the General Assembly. So we passed it before November 16th deadline. So it will be taken up in the new session on January 8th when we gavel in back in Richmond. And that is why this election is so important. We are 21-19 in the House, in the Senate, which is now 20, with Senator Suhas Subramaniam going to Congress. And we are 51-49, which will be 50-49. And that's why we need J.J. Singh. That's why, the Senate seat is so important. And I think this is a great opportunity, Fennel and team, to send a very strong message. This is the first election after Trump trifecta. And I was telling the LCDC meeting last night, this is our big opportunity to push back and send a message that, Virginia is not going back. We are going to keep the majority. And this will be the first step to get Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger elected as the next governor. Because once we get trifecta, when we had trifecta before, a couple of years ago, we did Medicaid expansion. As you all know, I was in the Medicaid board for 7 years. I was last year, I was the chairman. Medicaid was extraordinary. Thanks to every one of you who worked so hard. We expanded Medicaid, brought healthcare to more than 1.5 million new people in Virginia. We also expanded voting rights, no questions asked, early voting, climate change investment, the list goes on. And we can do so much more when we have trifecta in Richmond. But for that to happen, we need to win these elections on January 7th. The early voting starts this Wednesday, believe it or not. Coming Wednesday, December 11th, early voting starts. Vote by mail is available. Leesburg location is available. On December 28th and January 4th, there will be 2 more locations available on 2 Saturdays. There is a ton of opportunity to canvass. I dropped my Mobilize link. There's a joint canvas for JJ and myself. I'll drop it again. Whatever help you can provide. No help is too small.
Yeah.
Whether it's phone banking, whether it's, coming out to canvas here, whether it's, writing postcards, calling your friends. Because, we talked about, what's the therapy now, right? This is one form of therapy. Because
Yes.
we know special elections can be tricky. We know that.
Yes, they can.
Because of weather, we don't know what the weather is going to be like on January 7th. We could have 4 inches of snow. We don't know that. But what we know is we can start voting on December 11th. And once we are well organized, once we win these 2 seats and keep it blue, that message will be sent because the other side will clearly try to snatch this from us.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I want to know what you guys think about this. We sort of had this last election as to tell us what has happened, what went right, and what things that we can really accelerate on. And so from you guys, I'd really like to know, because this is so important, this is where everybody can sort of be like that formation of the geese. And if someone needs to rest, you can come from other states, you can come from everywhere and help push this election forward, because it is the bellwether, because this election will, this is how you keep people safe. This is how we stay safe in Virginia. We stay safe in Virginia by making sure we set up for Abigail and that we set up the House and the Senate. So no matter where you are in Virginia, you can participate, because this is how we stay safe. So before I conclude, are there any lessons? Is there anything that you guys want to tell us to say, this is what I need you to go do?
Yes. So back in 2009, now Leader Herring ran in Alexandria in a special election. And this was after President-elect Barack Obama won in a landslide in November 2008. And she won that race in Alexandria by 18 votes in Alexandria. And so this is Loudoun. Loudoun has shifted right in this last election, similar to national trends. and anything can happen in a special election. And in my primary, in 6 days, we knocked on 4,750 doors. We need to amp that up dramatically in order to get the turnout that we need to win. Now, whether turnout looks like 5% of the electorate, probably a little higher, 8%, 10%, whatever the number is, we need to be prepared for any scenario to knock on as many doors as we can. And let me just tell you something. My mom, who was 76 years old, recent knee replacement surgery, along with 8 of her friends, who I call super aunties, came out and knocked doors in 37-degree weather and rain the day before my primary, and they're ready to run it back. I'm out there knocking hundreds of doors. Everybody else is. If you're in Virginia, we have canvas launches all the time. Come help out with the effort because this is about the state. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Kannan?
Yeah, Final, I was going to say that's an excellent point you made. I mean, we are seeing what is going to come. We are seeing the appointments, eyebrows are being raised. People are scratching their head, and we were warned. And version number 2, we don't know how bad it's going to be, but it's going to be bad. But we have an option, we have an opportunity in Virginia on January 7th, before January 7th, starting December 11th, start to vote and push back very firmly to say, Virginia, we are not going back. We are going to make a very clear message. We are going to keep both the seats in the blue column and not allow this to be snatched from us, because it's all about turnout. It's all about turnout. If people know they can vote early, and we are going to do our best, we are going to work very hard. I've been knocking doors yesterday. It was so cold, but I ran from house to house just to keep myself warm, because it's how bad the wind was. And I had 3 layers of clothing.
We are the blue wall. We are the new blue wall.
We are.
Thank you both for running. I mean, in this environment too, I just want to shout out. We were just talking about courage, and Kannan, we've enjoyed working with you. So and meeting you and seeing you at the Women's Summit and just supporting everything we do.
Thank you
guys. Thank you so much for.
There's so much to do. But we need to keep these seats safe. And I'm going to be very open. This is a wonderful group. People are going to be hurt. That's the reality. The policies that the other side is going to put forth, whether it's federal employees, whether it's whatever issue we talk about, right? Reproductive rights. These challenges are coming. The only way we can protect is to tell folks to go vote early, vote by mail, show up on 7th. Let's send a strong message. Let's get a strong win for both the seats on January 7th. And then we can go right into session. And, thanks to all the amazing work the Virginia grassroots does, Louisa and her team, everybody on this call, we can have a wonderful session, 45 days. And then we come out of that and we go straight into hundreds. I used to have a jingle in the caucus. In the House caucus, I would say 55 and 25. So, 55 and 25. Yeah. Let's win more seats in the House. Let's get Abigail Spanberger in the governor's mansion, and then let's go have a trifecta. And that trifecta will be so many times better than the other trifecta, which should go away when we have the midterms. But anyway,
yes, we understand the assignment. We understand the assignment.
We got it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.